In today's video, we're back again to explain and break down the latest spoilers from the Bluelock football manga, Chapter 309. Overall, contents of this chapter are far beyond what we expected because in truth, there are two major plot points that unfold here. So if you're curious, we recommend not skipping this video because it's seriously too exciting to miss. Let's get right into the main topic without wasting any more time. To begin with, on the very first page, the narrator immediately speaks to us with the following statement. The deadly battle for survival can no longer be avoided. Bluelock will represent the nation as Japan's new national team in the upcoming World Cup tournament. Their ultimate goal? To become champions? Because if they fail, Bluelock will be dissolved. On top of that, Japan has landed in the group of death, which includes Nigeria, England, and France, three of the world's football powerhouses. Regardless of who survives this group, going up against these three directly is a monumental challenge. Then, right after the narrator finishes, the scene shifts to Isagi. We see him putting on his shoes while talking to himself internally. Alright, to become #1 in the world, I'll defeat any opponent, no matter how strong they are. Before he heads back to Bluelock, his parents appear behind him, speaking at length. The dialogue is long, but the gist is that they're giving him support and saying their goodbyes. And then on the third page, Isagi stands up from where he was sitting, turns to his parents and responds, "I'm going back to Bluelock, the place where my dream will come true. And I'll return once the World Cup tournament is over." The scene then shifts again. The narrator tells us that there are only 30 days left until the World Cup begins. When Isagi arrives at the front gate of the Bluelock Academy, Bakira shows up immediately to greet him. "Yo, Isagi, long time no see. By the way, you look taller, now way taller than before." At that moment, Isagi quickly responds, "Huh, no way. We've only been apart for 2 weeks. There's no way I got taller in just 2 weeks." While Isagi is denying Bakira's comment, Hitoshi Rin, who just happens to be nearby, suddenly chimes in, even though no one was talking to him. "Hey, I got taller too, you know. I measured myself recently, and turns out I've grown by 1 centimeter. Of course, hearing Rin say that, Isagi and Bakira instantly start teasing him. "Huh? Who asked you that?" "Yeah, so what if you got taller? You want a compliment or something?" Bakira mocks Rin in a playful tone. But what's interesting here is the first time Rin Dosanti get angry at being teased? The three of them then walk together into the football school building. Interestingly, when Rin, Isagi, and Bakira finally arrive inside, they find out that the rest of their teammates have already gotten their first, including Chigiri. Yep, everyone else made it there before the three of them. Seeing this, Bakira immediately shouts out, "Whoa! You guys got here earlier than us." As the others turn to see them enter one by one, they begin calling out Isagi and Rin's names with different nicknames. Karasu Tobito calls them abnormal humans or extraordinary players. Oliver Aiku refers to them as the double aces of Japan's new U20 team. Baru, on the other hand, just glances at them coldly and mutters with irritation. And now that all the players have gathered, Ego appears just like always, but this time, instead of showing up on a screen like usual, Ego appears in person, no longer just a hologram. Without delay, Ego begins speaking to the players. "Good job. And now, I can see it clearly. Over the past 14 days, you've all undergone a special training program for me. Each of you has changed. You've returned with a new ego, your own unique weapon. But even with that, there's one thing you must remember. To win the World Cup, we'll need a new kind of combination. One based on the bond between players. But unfortunately, that mindset is outdated. That's an old conservative way of thinking. And from this point on, that kind of thinking has no place if you truly want to become champions. So forget about the idea of forming bonds with others. We're going back to square one. I'm using your egos to fulfill my dream, which is to make Japan the World Cup champions, and you all should do the same. Use me and use each other to achieve your own individual goals. Because only through that kind of selfish, extreme thinking can we truly create a chance at becoming champions. But that's not all. On the next page, Ego continues his declaration. Listen, well, right now, you are the hope and future of Japanese football. But don't let that thought become a burden. Continue to uphold your egos and push beyond them in order to grow. Prepare yourselves, because the special training that will make you World Cup champions starts now. In the next 30 days, I'll transform you into new players once again. A brand new selfish team will be born, ready for the World Cup. And just like that, the story of Japan's U20 national team gets cut off again. Why? Yep, you guessed it, because once again, Bluelock never fails to leave us hanging at the most critical moments of every major chapter. In chapter 307, we saw Nagi rejecting Boritsuda's offer. And now, this chapter picks up from that very scene. To put it simply, after turning down Boritsuda's offer, Nagi just goes back to his daily routine, doing what he always does, playing ding-dong games almost all day, every day. But this time, while he's gaming, his mind starts wandering. In his inner monologue, Nagi reflects. If I had followed that old man's request, then that wouldn't be my ego at all. It'd just be following his ego instead. So in Nagi's view, becoming a villain or a traitor with the aim of destroying Bluelock is completely pointless. While pondering this, Nagi starts to feel conflicted, torn about whether he made the right call. Was my decision really right? Do I still have any other options left if I want to keep playing football? I mean, if I already rejected his offer, what now? But after thinking it through again, Nagi reassures himself. No, I made the right choice. Because if I had agreed, I would have become a slave to that greedy old man. And he definitely doesn't want to destroy Bluelock while being someone's lapdog. My contracts would be in his hands for life. Of course, Nagi has no intention of becoming anyone's pawn. Interestingly, as Nagi sinks deeper into doubt, Isagi suddenly appears in his thoughts, a mental image of Isagi, accompanied by his last words to Nagi, "Don't quit soccer." Those words strike Nagi hard, and that's when he remembers. He still has one more option, to pursue a career as a professional footballer. Besides, Nagi still has an offer from a professional club, an opportunity to play for them, which means his path is far from over. That's when Nagi starts seriously considering his next move. Maybe he should join Team City, or maybe even move overseas to England. In his inner dialogue, Nagi even declares, "I will play, even if it's not for the Japan national team." What's truly epic is that right at the moment when Nagi embraces this second path, something inside him ignites. Suddenly, his eyes begin to glow, and a dark aura bursts out from within him. That lost spark, his motivation, returns in full force the moment he decides to continue playing, even if it means representing another country. But just as Nagi finalizes this new direction, someone shows up behind him. A surprise appearance from one of the most iconic, hilarious, and highly anticipated characters in the Bluelock series. This person walks up behind Nagi, places a hand on his head and says, "Yo, what are you doing in a place like this? Have you already dropped dead? You useless, lazy brat?" Can you guess who it is? Yep, you got it. It's the Lord of all lords in the world of football. None other than the bald-headed Igarashi. And then, on the final page, the narrator adds a single closing line. On the overseas field, Nagi's new ego and burning spirit have finally reawakened. Which means, you already know what's coming next.